Hi, I'm Prisma from California. Please like and subscribe. My sister Juliet and I were born to freakishly rich parents who adored and spoiled us at our lakeside mansion. Even though Juliet and I were twins, people always seemed to compliment me more for my pretty blonde curls and blue eyes.
Look at this beautiful child. She's God's gift to humans.
Of course, both of our daughters are adorable.
Oh, that one's yours too. I never would have guessed.
See what I mean? This didn't change even after we grew up. Over time, Juliet started noticing it too and became extremely competitive, especially when it came to dancing.
Look at Prisma's move. She's so adorable.
She'll make us proud one day.
What? She's dancing like a frog who's holding in a fart. How can you guys be so blind?
I admit Juliet was better than me, but I wasn't so bad. And everyone, including my parents, seemed to agree. But every time they praised me, Julia's butt would light on fire. Not that I cared. I loved the attention. Over the next few years, Juliet and I grew further apart, and by the time we were 16, we were pretty much strangers living under the same roof. She got into dancing, and I fell in love with writing. Things were fine, till one day, Dad lost all his money in stocks, and we had to sell our estate and move to a tiny apartment. Worst of all, I had to share a room with Juliet. Seriously, Mom, I need my privacy. You know that.
It's just for one night. We'll buy you a mattress in the morning, and Juliet can sleep in the lounge.
No way. I need my own room too. If she gets one, so do I.
Please don't be so melodramatic.
Before Juliet could argue more, Mom left. Juliet tossed and turned angrily, but finally fell asleep, and I did too. But a few hours later, I woke up to her screaming,
Ew, I can't believe you still do that.
I felt horrible as I realized the bed was all wet. I had a condition where stress could sometimes make me lose control over my bladder while sleeping. That was my secret. And now, Juliet knew. Shut up, Juliet. It's not a big deal.
Who would have thought Ms. Perfect needed diapers? It's a huge deal. And now you'll do what I say if you don't want anyone at our new school to find out.
You're an awful person.
You don't say. I worked so hard to be this awful, so thank you. For the first time in years, I get to dominate you.
I gave up the room, and Juliet promised to tell no one, but it was so hard to trust her. On our first day of our new school, Juliet and I could feel all eyes on us as we entered, and I heard a few kids whispering about our branded clothes and bags. That's all we had from our life before.
Look at them. They all look. This place is yuck.
Don't say that. It's the best Mom and Dad could do.
You don't have to kiss their butt now they're not around to hear you and pat your back. Anyway, I'm off. Good luck getting through a year in this dump.
Such a brat. Thank God we were in different homerooms. But it was kinda true. The school wasn't half as fancy as my private one back in Malibu. Kids were louder and meaner, and even the teachers didn't seem to care. That day, as I walked back home, I missed my old life and prayed something could magically put everything back in place. I guess God was in a happy mood, 'cause the next day, Juliet gave us the best news we'd heard all week.
I auditioned for the role of dancer in Superstar Karen's next movie. OMG, this Karen doesn't age. I should get her doctor's number. I know I'm, super pretty, but I can be prettier, so why not? Anyway, I got a call back for the second round. How amazing is that?
That's so cool. You totally deserve it.
Stop pretending. I know you're probably just burning inside. Get ready to beg for my autograph.
Geez, relax. Don't be so overconfident, okay?
No one is as good as me. There, this rolls in my pocket. Anyway, I have to practice, so I'll see you guys around.
I was genuinely happy for her, but I just wished something could turn up for me too, especially after I saw how Mom fussed over Juliet. It made me even more jealous than I'd like to admit. Juliet's audition was in a week, and Mom decided it would be a good idea to tag along and cheer her on, despite her protests. The set was huge, and I felt like I'd entered a TV or something. Just then, Karen walked in, looking like a vision, and everyone fell silent. She looked even better than her movies. This woman was a goddess.
Okay, let's get this movie started. Wait a minute, who are you?
I was so lost in admiring her that I didn't realize I was standing in the middle of the scene. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just...
No, go back. Could you dance for me?
Oh, I'm not really here for that.
Just give it a try, please.
She signaled for the music to start, and I did what she said. To my surprise, I enjoyed the attention on me, and the camera didn't make me feel nervous. After I was done, Karen took me to her office.
Okay, so I'm gonna offer you a deal. $1 million, and you sign the movie now.
But I've been so out of touch with dance, and my sister's way better. You should give her a chance.
I don't know who your sister is, but no one here is as pretty as you. And I could always train you. Think about it. It's either you or some other girl, but not your sister.
Karen handed me her card and left. And when I turned around, I saw Juliet fuming at me. And when we reached home, she went bonkers on me.
How dare you? This was my chance to shine, and you snatched it away. I hate you.
Listen, I know how this looks, but I didn't think this would happen. And she told me she wasn't offering the role to you anyway. So it's a good thing I got it. We could use the money.
You'll make up anything to justify how selfish you are. If I don't get this role, you can't have it either. And if you take it, I'll make sure you regret it.
Don't threaten me like that. If you were good enough, she wouldn't have chosen me. Okay? Think about that. I knew how Juliet felt, but it was a 1 in a million opportunity. The money would benefit all of us, and it wasn't like she was getting the role. So why couldn't I have it? The next morning, I went to Karen and signed the deal. When Juliet found out, she lost her mind and screamed for hours. But I knew I'd done the right thing for my family, so I ignored her. A week later, we started shooting, and working with Karen was a dream. She was the sweetest. But for some reason, no one else on set agreed with me. One evening, after a late shoot, we talked, and I told her my whole story.
Oh, darling, I know how you feel. I come from a poor family too, and I made my way up.
Really? That's so inspiring. I felt so special because she confided in me. But the next day when I met her, she totally blew me off. And soon, she started showing her true colors. She treated me like her servant, and I was stuck getting her coffee and salads, and she kept criticizing me in front of the whole crew during shootings. I decided to talk to her. But soon we started with promotion interviews, and there was never a good time. During one interview, the host asked me a bunch of questions, but Karen kept butting in.
So what do you love most in the world?
Well, I love...
Dancing and me, of course. She's my biggest fan.
Yes, but I was saying that my parents...
Are so proud of her. I took this poor girl under my wing, and now I'll make her a big star. Isn't she lucky?
Karen didn't let me say anything. And the next day, everybody was talking about her big heart. No one was talking about my talent. Great. Now people think I'm some charity case.
Don't overthink it. Of course you're talented, but everyone likes a good sob story. Just go with the flow.
I tried, but it kept getting worse. Everyone wanted to know more about how I became famous, and even started bothering my parents to get their answers.
Are you really poor, or is this just a publicity stunt?
How does it feel to live off your daughter's money?
Well, it's my money to begin with, so I feel betrayed.
What the heck are you doing?
Telling the truth, helping the media. I'm being a responsible citizen.
I dragged Juliet away before she said something to make the situation worse. And a few weeks later, we moved to another place. Lately, the stress had been so much that I was wetting the bed more frequently. I really hadn't expected things to be so hard. A few days later, I was going through the script when I heard noises coming from Karen's office and peeped in to see the writer of the movie crying.
You can't do this. You promised me a better amount for my story. That's why I gave the script to you.
Oh, cry me a river for changing my mind. This is my last offer. Or, I can break your career faster than I break hearts.
But it's not enough. You know how much this story means to me. And I'm knee-deep in debt.
Not my problem. You want the money or not?
The girl left crying, and I entered the room to have a word with Karen.
Stay out of it.
But it's not fair. You can't just take away her hard work and not even pay her well for it. It's just wrong.
Really? Have you forgotten what you did to your own sister? She was the better dancer, and you didn't even flinch before taking her place.
That was different. It was me or her.
And you chose you. You and I are more alike than you think. And time you go snooping around in my business, know this. I will fire you.
You can't do that. I'm the face of your movie, and people would crush you for firing the poor girl.
Darling, everyone is replaceable. Ask your sister.
Karen's words hit me like a hot slap. And for the first time, I thought how unfair I'd been to Juliet. I had to make it right, and I started with dropping an anonymous tip to the media about how Karen exploited her staff. The news blew up like a volcano, and Karen faced bad backlash. She knew I'd leaked the news, and I was fired on the spot. But I couldn't care less. All I wanted was to make things right. But Juliet was still ignoring me, and I couldn't blame her. How one morning I walked into her room to talk, but she wasn't around. And seconds later, I heard Mom scream. What? What happened? Mom pointed to the TV, and Karen was standing with Juliet and calling her my replacement. What? I was still reeling with shock when Juliet walked in. Juliet, I know I'm probably the last person you trust, but working with Karen will destroy you. She's just using you to teach me a lesson.
Fine by me. You do need a few lessons. Like, you're not the only dancer in the world, and I'm far more talented. Heck, if people knew your little secret, you wouldn't have even made it this far. Now stop being annoying or I might tell it to the press.
The industry runs on gossip. Sure, people will talk about me for a few days, and then what? They'll forget about it. But working with Karen will make you miserable. Don't do this.
I'll do anything I want. Now get out of my way. I have a plane to catch.
Despite my parents' pleas, Juliet left and we didn't hear from her for weeks. Slowly, I got back to my studies and managed to pass my high school. But we were running out of money, and I needed something to keep afloat. So I decided to apply for small roles in movies. A few days later, one of the old writers on Karen's set called me and said she'd recommended me for a role in the movie based on her script. It did well, and I started getting more offers. Slowly, the money started rolling in, and we moved to a better place. I even saved up enough to put me through a writing school, and things were fine, except Juliet was still in the back of my mind. And then one day, while I was leaving for work, Mom came running in.
It's Juliet. She's in jail.
What? Mom told me that Juliet was involved in some embezzlement scandal with Karen, and they'd been arrested. We went to the police station with a lawyer to bail Juliet out. My parents seemed to forgive her instantly, but I was still mad at her.
Prisma, there's a lot I need to say, but I don't know where to start.
How about sorry or thank you?
I am really sorry. I was blinded by all the glamour and a chance to be better than you for once. Karen treated me just like you said, and she'll get powerful lawyers and get herself out of this mess. But I'm stuck in it now. You don't have to believe me, but I'm innocent.
I tried telling you she's a witch, and I think I do believe you.
Do you think you can forgive me? I will never even mention the word diaper in front of you.
Shut up! I'm better now, and it might take some time to fix things between us, but let's get this mess sorted first. And I'm happy to have you home.
Hi, my name is Scarlet, and I'm from New Jersey. I was born to loving parents just 3 years after my older sister Aurora. The whole family celebrated my birth, and Aurora and I were inseparable. She always had me glued to her, and we did everything together. But as I got older, our parents realized something was wrong with me. I couldn't hear them. I only reacted if they spoke really loudly or really close to me. They rushed me to the doctor, and we found out that I had a problem in my ears that made me nearly 70% deaf. A surgery would fix this issue, but I had to be much older to go through it safely. So I grew up deaf in a world full of sound. While Aurora enjoyed music, laughter, and went to school like everyone else, my parents decided to homeschool me with an army of special tutors.
There's schools for kids just like her?
Yes, but she's our special girl, and we want to give her all our attention.
Aurora had a life I dreamed of every day. She got to have heaps of friends while I was too scared to talk to the kids in my neighborhood. I once got jealous watching Aurora dance to music. My parents went out of their way to make me feel better. They bragged about me all the time.
Scarlet is beautiful, and she's a genius. She did her speech therapy in record time.
Mom, I topped my entire grade. Look at my report card.
That's nice, dear. Scarlet can lip read too, you know. Show them. It's such a fun game.
I got ready to show off my skills, but Aurora suddenly got up, threw her report card on the table, and ran into her room. What was the matter with her? I was too wrapped up in my life to understand it. But Aurora started having little meltdowns all the time. She hated that my parents always let me choose our vacation spots, choose where to eat, and bought me anything I pointed at. When Aurora asked for the same things, my parents just told her to share mine.
That's not fair. Why can't I have what she has?
We can share! I have like 100 clothes!
I'm talking to Mom!
I didn't want Aurora to hate me, so I sent her some pretty dresses as a gift. She sent them back to me, all cut up in pieces. Are you kidding me? When I reached the 7th grade, I was finally ready to get my surgery, and all my parents could do was worry about it. Even I was a little scared, but Aurora couldn't care less. She was a school topper and a cheerleader now. She was also best friends with the richest girl in town, Kat. Her dad was so powerful, he employed half the adults here. Aurora spent all her time lounging in Kat's huge pool house. Even though Kat was the worst, she was super mean and controlling. She even gave her friends strict guidelines on how to dress. One time, Aurora wore the wrong shoes with an evening dress, and her friends ditched her. Kat is a moron. You shouldn't be friends with her.
Mind your own business, turd.
I still hoped that Aurora and I would be normal sisters after my surgery. But the day I went to the hospital, she didn't even show up. I went into the hospital with my heart burning with anger. If Aurora didn't care about me, then I didn't care about her anymore. When I woke up from surgery, I couldn't stop weeping. My parents' voices, the doctor's voices, and my own voice. Everything was setting me off. It took time and effort, but with my parents' support and therapy, I slowly got used to living in a sea of sound. On my first day of joining regular school, my heart was hammering. I'd literally taken my first few steps into the hallway when I saw the most beautiful girl in the entire world just casually standing by the lockers. She was looking right at me, and her mouth was moving. I read her lips without even trying. Did you just say I'm pretty?
What? How did you hear that?
I have good ears. I'm Scarlet.
I'm Marina.
I shook her hand, and my heart wanted to dance. She was actually gonna be in my classes. School was exciting. It was a little weird making friends when I could still lip read. I was only 40% accurate, but that was enough to accidentally see some awkward things. I just pretended I knew nothing. But one day I saw 2 of our teachers talking, and I couldn't help but stare. They were talking about giving us a surprise test tomorrow. Well, it wouldn't be fair if I just prepared alone, right? So I told everyone in my class what was going to happen. Marina looked really surprised.
But how did you know?
I can lip read, just a little bit. I used to be deaf.
Wow, really?
A literal crowd jumped on me all of a sudden. People had a million questions about my life. Everyone wanted to play the lip reading game. They would mouth dumb things at me, and I had to guess. Banana olive juice? No, I love you. Aw, you're just saying. La 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 la. The whole class was rolling in laughter. I had no idea I was so fun. By the end of the day, I got invited to 3 different sleepovers. I was really enjoying my new popularity. Until one day when I learned a secret I couldn't forget. Aurora was hanging out with Kat and a gang of cheerleaders, and I saw them mouthing the words spray paint and plan. That made me curious, so I sneaked closer to them to hear what they were saying. Kat was planning to vandalize the school building this weekend, and she was making her friends help her. When I reached home, I went into Aurora's room to talk to her alone. I know what Kat is planning to do this weekend.
You little sneak! How did you know? Did you lip read us?
It doesn't matter. You can't go spray painting buildings with her. She's gonna get you in trouble.
Mind your own business.
Why do you let that jerk push you around?
That jerk's dad is literally our dad's boss. She's really powerful.
So let her get in trouble alone. She refused to listen to me. I didn't know what to do. But I couldn't let her get mixed up with that awful girl anymore. So I told my parents what she was about to do. Her bully of a friend is gonna make her vandalize the school. My parents were furious at Aurora. They yelled at her and then grounded her for the next 2 weeks.
You told on me. Isn't it enough that you're our parents' favorite? You just had to do this.
Aurora, if you get caught, you could get suspended or even expelled.
As if you care about what happens to me. Stay out of my life.
Aurora shut me out hard. After that, she ignored me at home and in school. That Monday, the principal announced that Kat and her group had been caught ruining school property, and they all got suspended. I thought that would soften Aurora's temper, but she still didn't want to talk to me. I couldn't stay upset about it for too long, because one day, I opened my lockers to see flowers and a note inside. It was from Marina.
Too shy to say it in person, but ever since we met, I can't stop thinking about you. Want to go out with me?
I was so happy I was gonna faint. A real-life fairy just asked me out. I texted her yes and literally floated on air for days. I was so nervous on my first ever date that my hands were shaking. I even spilled a soda all over us. But that was the moment she chose to surprise me and kissed me. She was just perfect. Marina was funny, clever, and even my parents loved her. Our relationship was pure and blissful until we reached the 9th grade, and she finally introduced me to her mom. That was instant hate. Her mom didn't want her dating a girl, and it showed. She asked Marina to dump me, and when she didn't, she started ignoring her. She bought her siblings presents and took them to dinners. But she purposefully left Marina out. I hated to see Marina upset, and I foolishly thought if her mom got to know me, she'd like me. So, for Marina's birthday, I set up a family picnic in the park as a surprise. But Marina's mom spent the whole time bragging about her siblings. My son has a new job, and my eldest daughter is going to college with a scholarship. I'm so proud of you both.
Mom, I won an art contest last month.
Art contest? Ha ha, sounds lame. Your sister won a science scholarship. Bitter tears filled Marina's eyes, and she stormed off in a huff. She worked hard on that contest, and you called it lame just to hurt her. You're insane. I went after Marina and saw her weeping, and suddenly it reminded me of Aurora getting ignored by our parents. Unlike Marina's mom, my parents didn't give me more attention to hurt Aurora. But the end result looked exactly the same. My parents were wrong for how they treated Aurora. I was just too mad at her for not being there for me, and I couldn't see it until now. Aurora still avoided me at home and at school, but it finally made sense to me, and we didn't speak again until the evening of the spring dance. Marina and I wore the prettiest dresses and were so excited to go to our first dance together. But we'd only been there for an hour when Marina's mom showed up.
What are you doing here?
Just wanted to see all the handsome boys you rejected to date this rude girl. That one. Oh, that one.
Mom, stop it. You can't be here.
You can't date this girl. She called your own mother insane.
That's because you are insane.
People were staring at us, and someone even turned the music down. My daughter never spoke to me this way before you came along. I hate you. Her mom picked up the bowl of punch, and she was gonna throw it at me. I prepared myself for the splash, but suddenly, Aurora flew in between us and pushed her away. Marina's mom went flying back right into a table of food. The entire hall watched her in pin-drop silence before exploding into whispers and laughter. Call the principal. His students attacked me. They're crazy. The teachers were furious at Aurora for pushing her and disrupting the dance. They gave her 6 weeks of detention and called our parents to pick us up. When we got home, they tried to yell at Aurora, but I stopped them. Marina's mom deserves everything she got. You should be proud of Aurora for standing up for me.
She stood up for you this one time. Before this, she was planning to vandalize buildings. And before that, she was constantly fighting with you.
That's you. Your fault, not hers. Yeah, you heard me. You were so eager to make me feel good, you ignored Aurora since we were kids. That's why she hated me.
We may have given you more attention, but we loved you both equally.
No way. You acted like I didn't even matter. Nothing I ever did was good enough for your praise, while you wrote actual songs about Scarlet.
Aurora, you were healthy. Topping your classes, cheerleading, making friends. You didn't need us as much as she did.
That's not true. I was upset. Making friends with bullies and getting into trouble. I would be suspended or expelled if it weren't for Scarlet. I'm a mess. If you loved me as much as you loved Scarlet, you would have seen that.
Aurora burst into tears while my parents looked stunned.
We did take your achievements for granted. And yes, we were more worried about your sister. But we love you both the same.
Then why don't you act like it?
We didn't want Scarlet to be jealous of your life. We worried about her getting hurt in a million ways, but that's not an excuse. If we let you think for even a second that we didn't love you, then we really messed up. I'm so sorry, Aurora.
We love you both more than our own lives. We're sorry we haven't shown it. We'll do better from now on.
Aurora grabbed my parents in a hug, and I wiped my tears off and joined them too.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly when my parents knew that I was special. It could be when I said my first word at 5 months old, when I started reading by the time I was 3, or when I solved a Rubik's Cube at 4 in less than 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Lisa. And none of that is to brag, by the way, because being a genius has brought me more misery than I would wish on my worst enemy. Yeah, I actually have a worst enemy, and you're about to find out who she is. But first, please like and subscribe. My father was a famous actor who starred in a ton of action movies. He fell in love with my mother, a jewelry designer. She designed the engagement ring he intended to give to another woman. But he broke off that relationship to be with my mother. I know. Messed up, right? When I was 5, I was being dragged around the world to movie sets where my father would show me off like some freak Einstein circus monkey.
Daddy, I need to pee.
You can only go after you tell everyone who the 5th, 16th, 25th, and 40th presidents were.
Come on, Paul. Lisa really needs to go.
She can't go as soon as she answers the question.
James Monroe, Abraham Lincoln, William McKinley,
And then I peed. The entire movie's cast and crew burst out laughing, and I was completely humiliated. My mother finally had enough and divorced him, taking me back to her hometown. I would love to say things got better there, but believe it or not, they only got worse. Like a lot worse. My mom opened a jewelry store which took up all of her time. So she got me a nanny who had a daughter named Scarlet. Scarlet was 4 years older than me and was really but really dumb. Just to give you an idea of how dumb she was, when her mom told her that carrots helped her see in the dark, she went outside at night and tried to use one as a flashlight. Scarlet didn't like that I was so much smarter than her, so her favorite activity was torturing me, like hanging me out the window by my ankles, filling my pillowcase with spiders, and replacing my cereal with dog treats.
How's your cereal, Lisa? Maybe afterward we can go play fetch.
Except I knew what my cereal looked like and switched our bowls when she wasn't looking. My mom put me in kindergarten, but it was way too easy for me. While the other kids were playing with finger paint, I was doing math equations. As much as I hated being in school, I hated being home more because of Scarlet. I tried to tell my mom, but Scarlet had a secret.
But Mommy, I hate her. She tried to put my book in the toilet.
Scarlet, is that true? The one thing that Scarlet was good at, besides bullying, was acting.
Never. It really hurts my feelings when Lisa says these things.
Scarlet could cry on command. I mean, like a full-on sobbing.
Mom, she's...
But I couldn't even finish my sentence before my mom was comforting Scarlet.
There. It's okay. No matter what happened, I'm sure you two can work it out, right?
And then Scarlet ran and hugged me.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to work. See you two besties tonight.
And the second my mom was gone, my book was in the toilet, and just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. The school's principal skipped me to the 3rd grade. Guess with who? You've got it. Freaking Scarlet. Yeah, she was left back a year because, as we already established, was really dumb. When I got to high school, I was too old to have a nanny. So my mom hired Scarlet's mother to help her run her jewelry store and let them stay in our house because she felt like they were family now. At school, Scarlet would play awful pranks on me, like putting laxatives in my lunch or filling my hand sanitizer with super sticky glue. One night, I sat out in the backyard crying. I just wanted to be normal and with kids my own age. Then through the guest house window, I saw something unbelievable. Scarlet was watching Mean Girls and acting out the part.
They say you're a homeschooled jungle freak who's a less hot version of me.
She was actually really good, but then she turned and looked right at me. Oh no! I sprinted back to my room. I was up all night, terrified about what Scarlet was going to do to me. The next day at school, Scarlet just stared non-stop at me. As soon as the bell rang, I sprinted out of the classroom and hid in a janitor's closet.
This is my closet. Go find your own.
I nearly jumped out of my skin. I turned on the light to find a boy sitting in a chair with his feet up on the wall. His hair was long and messy, his clothes were too big, and he had like 20 earrings. He was Wesley, the school weirdo. The rumor was that his family was homeless. I can't leave.
Yeah. Scarlet, right?
Yeah, I think she may actually kill me.
Sad girl, just like my sister Alice.
Your sister?
Yeah, believe it or not, Alice makes Scarlet look like an angel.
That's horrible. Wait, why are you in here?
It's my place to get away from everyone. I hate drama.
Wow, I totally get it. People are so...
Petty, judgmental, mean.
Yes, I'm Lisa, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pretty good observer.
Just with that, Wesley and I became best friends. I felt like a total jerk. I always thought he was just a weirdo, but he was the first person who actually understood me. For the next few weeks, Wesley and I spent more and more time together at school, away from Scarlet. Wesley knew every hiding place in the school, under the stairs, in the attic. There was even an old, broken service elevator. I had no idea. For a while, things were looking up. And then one night, something incredible happened. I received a letter from one of the top universities in the country. They wanted me to attend next year and were scheduling an interview at my house. I would finally be rid of Scarlet for good. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I wanted to celebrate, but Wesley would never meet me outside of school. There was always an excuse, but this time I wasn't taking no for an answer. I tracked down his address online and went there. I figured we would pull up to a homeless shelter, but we turned into the driveway of the biggest mansion I had ever seen. I rang the bell, and this really pretty girl with perfect makeup opened the door.
Whatever you're selling, we don't want any. Oh, I'm not selling anything. I'm here to see Wesley. Does he live here? Hey, loser. Someone is actually here to see you. What do you want with my loser brother?
Oh, you're Alice, Wesley's demon sister.
Lisa, what are you doing here?
Hi.
Wow, Wesley is a real girl coming here to take you out. There must be something seriously wrong with her.
Leave us alone, Alice.
Wesley took me to his room, which was filled with books and other cool things. He even had a VR experience, and we got to dive in the deep sea with sharks, whales, and all kinds of marine animals. It was so cool. But just as we were about to approach a giant squid, suddenly, a wave of water drenched us from top to bottom. We took off our visors and there was Alice, holding a huge bucket of water and laughing her head off.
Alice, what the heck?
Only improving your immersive experience. You're welcome, guys.
Before we could respond, Alice had already vanished, and Wesley's RV was ruined. As we dried off in the bathroom, I looked at Wesley angrily. How can Scarlet and Alice be so hateful? What is wrong with them?
Alice and I were close when we were kids, but then my mom forced her into beauty pageants and would always criticize her when she lost. It changed her, and now she's like this.
Like Alice alone wasn't enough. Scarlet hadn't forgotten about me spying on her. She was like a snake, just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. And on the morning of the big interview at my house, she found it.
Well, Lisa, we feel that you will be a perfect addition to our university, and it is my honor to offer you.
Oh, Lisa!
Just as the recruiter was about to make me the offer, Scarlet walked in. My entire body froze.
Oh, sorry. Is this a bad time? I'm Scarlet Lisa's bestie.
Hi, bestie. Can you please come back later?
I would, but I have my math test coming up and need that special you always give me with all the answers. I have the money. I swear.
She pays you to give her the answers to your tests.
That's not true. She's lying.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Please don't listen to her. I've never cheated in my life.
Me neither.
And that was the end of it. Scarlet won.
Did I scare your little college recruiter off? Oopsie.
I was so angry I just exploded. You are a horrible, horrible human being. In fact, I wouldn't even call you human. You are a monster.
The next morning, as I was going to my locker, a crowd was around someone. Wesley walked up to me, and he looked as depressed as I was.
Did you see we have a new student?
When the crowd cleared, I saw who our new student was. It was Alice.
She got expelled from her all-girls school. So my mother was able to bribe our school to take her in.
And then she saw me, and Wesley came over and turned to the crowd.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun here together. Now you can't avoid me.
Alice laughed like a true Disney villain and left with her new group of followers.
I guess I'll just have to wait for her to add this school to her expulsion collection.
You know what? No. I've had enough of these bullies. We are gonna fight back.
No, Lisa, just ignore them. We can't fight with them.
They are older, stronger, and meaner. But we are smarter. We are not gonna fight them ourselves, Wesley. We're gonna make them fight each other.
I'm listening.
We may not be able to change them, but we maybe can redirect their hate.
I told Wesley the rest of my plan, and he agreed to join. We were going to make our boys mortal enemies. First of all, we sent a little welcome to our school gift to Alice from Scarlet.
Oh my god, is this the new Givenchy?
It wasn't. Wesley simply took the empty bottle from her trash.
This is my favorite perfume.
But I guess you could call it perfume. It certainly had a memorable fragrance. Alice put it on and immediately realized it was not her favorite Givenchy.
Yuck! Ugh, this smells like skunk.
Actually, it was a nasty mix of fermented anchovies, spoiled cheese, and overripe cabbage. But yeah, just as bad as skunk, and even harder to get off. Exactly. At the same time, we printed a fake version of the school newspaper, which Alice had just begun to run. And in a very special edition, we crowned Scarlet as the champion of, well, everything on the worst list, from fashion disasters to bad hair days, makeup mishaps, terrible classmates, and the worst student overall. You name it, she snagged the title. As soon as she saw it, Scarlet burst into flames and went in search of Alice. They met in the middle of the hallway. The tension was so intense that it felt like a dragon.
This is war!
And thus the war began. And believe me, they pulled out their heavy weapons. Their pranks were, let's say, pretty original. Alice kicked things off by spreading the rumor that Scarlet was really a 40-year-old divorcee posing as a teenager.
That doesn't make any sense.
Scarlet fired back bluntly and traditionally vandalizing Alice's Barbie car and brace for impact, painting it black.
No! That's not even a real color!
Alice carried out her revenge, following the old rules of the glitter warfare. She hid a glitter bomb in Scarlet's locker, and when she opened it, she turned the entire hallway into an impromptu disco party. It took Scarlet weeks to get all the glitter off her. And how could we forget the time that Scarlet locked Alice in the bath with a little mouse? Next level torture right there. Of course, like top-tier bullies, they occasionally ditched their sophisticated tactics for some classic down and dirty hand-to-hand combat. Yet the best part of my master plan was that they were good to us, even though it was just to infuriate the other. It's amazing what hate can lead to.
You're truly a genius.
I should be modest, but I can't. I am a genius. Our era of prosperity and peace incredibly lasted for a year. However, as usual, nothing good ever lasts. When it seemed that this beautiful war would continue for generations, Alice delivered a precise and lethal blow. Somehow, she got her hands on a video of Scarlet performing in the toilet, just as I had seen her months before at home, in front of her. She made it viral. At school, Scarlet became a laughingstock. The war was over and Alice had won it. Lonely and the Queen Alice. Well, maybe they didn't cheer like that, but you guys get the point. When I got home, Scarlet was still crying, and the waterfalls didn't slow down for days. She even stopped going to school because she was so embarrassed I had finally beaten my bully. But surprisingly, I didn't feel great. On the contrary, I felt sorry for her and felt so very, very guilty. Not because she didn't have it coming. The feeling of being the one causing her tears felt horrible, even worse than when I was the one crying because of her evil deeds.
Go away!
I have something to tell you. After confessing all about my plan, I closed my eyes and waited for my punishment. I hope this is quick and painless. I waited a few seconds, but nothing happened. I opened my eyes and looked at Scarlet. Aren't you gonna murder me?
I should, but I kinda get why you did it. It's not fun at all to be on the receiving end.
No, it isn't.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know what it is. Don't make me say it.
Yeah, I know. Me too. For what it's worth, I think you have a real talent as an actress.
Do you think so?
Totally. You had my mom believing you were an innocent angel for years. Not even Zendaya could pull off a character like that.
Ah, thanks!
Then something unprecedented began taking place. Scarlet and I went in for a hug. However, just as we were about to make it happen.
Nope, that's too much. You did ruin my life.
And you ruined my future.
Call it even?
Sure. The following weeks were pretty good, actually. Scarlet called the college recruiter and explained everything. As thank you, I showed the tape of Scarlet acting to my dad, and he got a small role in his next movie. When word of that got around the school, Scarlet got no notice again, but this time for good. Even better, she became part of our little crew. Wesley, it's time you also stand up for yourself against your sister. By now, Alice had assembled an army of plastic girls and drooling boys that would do anything she said. And with no rival, Alice went back to making Wesley's life miserable. Until one day during lunch in the cafeteria, Alice walked up to Wesley and acted like she had stumbled, making all her food spill onto him. Wesley stood up and pulled out an old photo from his wallet and showed it to Alice.
See this picture, Alice? It's from when you won your first beauty pageant. Look how happy we both look here.
Yes, I look pretty, unlike your dorky face.
In a moment of frustration, Wesley tore the picture into pieces, shocking Alice.
How dare you!
I always missed your younger self, Alice, and I hoped you would go back to being my lovely sister. But I guess you chose to be a witch, and I'm done waiting or being patient.
Alice tried to push Wesley away, but he held her hand tightly and firmly.
You really thought you're stronger than me, Alice. I never touched you because I respected you as my big sister.
You're hurting me!
I'll hurt you more if you don't back off.
My friends are around me. Guys, you know what to do.
But just as Alice's friends were about to step in, Scarlet and I appeared from behind Wesley. And we know what to do too. The kids behind Alice began to look scared and uncertain while she stomped her feet in frustration.
Fine. You don't talk to me, and I won't talk to you.
Sounds good to me.
With that, Alice left and we all hugged, knowing we had finally stood up to the bullies.
Hi, my name is Ashlin, and I'm from Brooklyn. Please like and subscribe. My twin sister Brooke and I were born to a single mother, and we were the prettiest set of twins with gorgeous blonde hair.
Oh dear, I've always wanted a daughter, but each time, God gave me these good-for-nothing devils. How about you give me one of your girls?
Just then, I bit the woman on the hand, and she ran for her life.
Broccoli! How many times have I told you not to be so violent?
And Brooke, Mommy, Ashlin.
Mum was shocked because usually Brooke was the one with a nasty temper, and I was the well-behaved child. But I just couldn't help it. People always tried to take us away because of our super long hair, which even Mum thought was going to make us super famous one day. But I wasn't very fond of the whole famous thing. I was a studious kid and I loved books. and Brooke was the polar opposite of me. Everyone at school was her friend, and she was head of the drama club with a huge fan following. In the 6th grade, I topped my grades, and Mum took us to a fun fair as a treat. But on our way, she bumped into a friend, and while I checked out the stalls, Brooke went on to buy some ice cream. But minutes later, I heard her scream. I ran to check, and some guy was fighting with her over the last piece of ice cream flavor they both wanted.
I was here first! Let go, you crazy witch!
Hey, leave my sister alone!
Give it to me now, or both of you will go home crying.
Suddenly, Brooke took the ice cream and shoved it into his face, and the guy went bonkers. He took out the biggest ball of gum I'd ever seen and shoved it straight into the back of Brooke's head. OMG! I kicked him in his knee and he fell into the pig pen in the petting zoo. But now Brooke's head looked like a bird's nest, and Mum almost fainted when she saw Brooke. She immediately took her to the hairdresser, but even the hairdresser freaked out when she saw the giant mess.
There is no way we can remove this. We'll have to cut it all.
What? No! But since there was no other option, they gave Brooke a buzz cut, and she looked devastated the entire way home. I tried to cheer her up.
It's just hair, Brooke. It'll grow back in no time.
But she didn't say a word. And when we reached home, she ran up to her room and locked herself in. So I tried different ways to cheer her up. This time,
I baked your favorite cookies. Brooke, open up. I asked Mom to buy tickets for the BTS concert, and she agreed. I'm gonna be a mom, Brooke.
And that's when she finally opened up. God, you're so dramatic.
So are you. Could it be we're related?
Days later, when the school reopened for the new session, I made Brooke wear a wig. But since it was summer, Brooke kept scratching her head like crazy the entire time.
Oh God, please stay away from me. I think she has lice.
How dare you even say that? She does not have lice.
Right then, the boy sitting behind Brooke noticed her wig coming off and he pulled it off.
Oh God, she's a baldy.
Wow, we can finally tell Brooke and Ashlin apart. The pretty-haired one is Ashlin, and the bald one is Brooke.
All the kids burst out laughing, and Brooke looked furious. She jumped on the kid who pulled her wig and grabbed his hair until he let out screams. The teacher pulled her away and was about to send her to the principal when I begged her to let it go. And thankfully, Brooke got away with a warning. But the next morning when Brooke came down, Mom and I were shocked.
Did you forget your wig, sweetie?
Everyone knows what I look like now, Mom, and it makes me itch.
Come on, honey. You wouldn't want to go out of the house looking like an egg.
Mom, I think you look cool. Brooke.
Whatever, I don't need your approval.
Huh? What was that about?
At school, I warned all the kids to not mess with my sister, but it seems like Brooke didn't care about it anyway. And then one time, I was in the school's hallway when Brooke's drama club members came up to me.
Ashlin, Brooke left the club, but we really need a pretty girl lead for the play. Can you take the role? Please, please.
They kept begging me to replace Brooke and didn't leave until I said yes. But just then, a boy walked past me and I dropped all my books.
Hey, watch it, dude!
But when he turned around, I was shocked to see it was Brooke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I didn't see it was you.
Yeah, that's the thing, Ash. Saying that she just turned around angrily and walked away. And I felt so stupid for not recognizing her. After that day, something changed in Brooke, and she started to talk to me less and less, and Mum only made things worse. Every time we'd go out, she'd made Brooke wear a captain. A few weeks later, when we got home from school, Mom was screaming with joy.
Oh, honey, I have great news. Some weeks back, I had sent Brooke's photos to a company that was looking for a new model. And guess what? They selected her.
For the first time in ages, I saw a huge smile on Brooke's face. And then Mom said,
"But now Ashlin will have to play the part."
What are you saying, Mom?
Mom told us that the company wanted to use a model for their new hair products. And since Brooke had lost her hair, my natural hip-length blonde hair made me perfect for the part. Just then, Brooke took a vase on the table and smashed it to the ground.
How can you do this to me? Those were my pictures. I was the one who got selected. She cannot take my place.
But what can we do if your hair won't grow back? It's been like that for months now, and God knows if it's ever gonna grow back.
Listening to Mom's words, Brooke ran to her room crying, and I told Mom I was not gonna do it.
Oh, Ash, I wish I'd never have to tell you this, but things are really tough at work for me right now. They might even fire me, and I'm so worried about how I'm gonna take care of my girls.
Seeing Mom so stressed, I had to say yes to the offer. But now Brooke was super mad at me, especially after Mom took her to the doctor and we discovered that her hair growth rate had slowed down drastically. For some reason, that's why her hair was taking so long to grow back. Later that night, when I was sleeping, I felt someone pulling my hair, and when I opened my eyes, I saw it was Brooke trying to cut it off.
OMG, Brooke, are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm crazy. And now I'm going to turn you into me.
Luckily, Mom came in just then and pulled her away. She scolded Brooke real hard, and after that day, Brooke stopped talking to me. The next week, Mom took me to the audition, and when I got the part, we had to fly to Los Angeles for the whole year, but Brooke was not happy about moving at all.
I don't understand why we have to leave everything behind just because of her.
Why can't you be happy for your sister? Brooke, this is a huge deal. And honestly, it's not like you have a lot of friends here. You could use a fresh start too.
Despite Brooke's protests, we moved to LA. The campaign I did became a huge success in no time, and my ads were everywhere, on buses, on billboards, and on TV. By the time I turned 15, I had a huge portfolio of modeling work, and Mom had become my manager, and she decided to enroll me into a private school.
Honey, you're a celebrity now. Your safety and education has to come first.
I was more than excited to finally have proper schooling after all these years of modeling. And I asked Mum to enroll Brooke with me too. But as soon as we entered our new school, kids came running at me to take autographs and selfies, and they'd follow me everywhere I go, and I just hated it. But there was someone who loved seeing me so miserable. Brooke. Over the years, I tried to include her in everything I did. I would even get designer dresses for her to join me on the red carpet, but she'd just toss them away in the trash.
What is wrong with you, Brooke? I got the dress specially made for you.
I don't need your charity, Ash. Especially when everything you are right now is because of me.
I hated the bitterness Brooke had in her heart for me, and I wished I could just remove that.
Don't you worry about her, sweetheart. You have no time for her jealousy. You just focus on your work.
Time went by, and Brooke grew confident in her own look and joined a local modeling agency. And I decided I was going to leave the world of fame and finally focus on my studies. But the same day, Mum told me that I'd been cast as the lead for a huge movie.
But Mom, I told you I didn't.
Oh, honey, this is the last time, I promise. It's just that I made an agreement, and now if you say no, we'll have to pay a huge sum of money canceling it.
Okay, but it's the last time.
A few days later, we had the announcement party for the movie, and Mum was taking me shopping for it when a card fell from her bag. It was an invitation card for Brooke's first play at the theatre, where she was playing the lead role.
Mom, we should definitely go to Cheerbrooke. This will mean so much to her.
It's the same day as the announcement party of your movie, and that's more important.
But I totally disagreed. I left Mom at the movie party and slipped off to see Brooke's performance, and she was awesome. I didn't find her in the dressing room, but I left flowers for her and left. My movie started shooting soon after, and I was a bit starstruck when I met the male lead actor, Tom. He was a super famous movie star at the age of just 20, and he had a huge fan following. But he was really nice and instantly made me comfortable. And over the course of the shooting, we became really good friends. On my 18th birthday, Tom even surprised me with a cake and congratulated me. But just then, I noticed Brooke outside my dressing room. I stepped out to see her, but she was already gone. And then I didn't see her the entire day. But the next morning, I woke up to the worst nightmare of an actor. My phone was buzzing like crazy, and pictures of me hugging Tom. And rumors of our link up were all over the news. But there was no way anyone from the set could have leaked those pictures. And that's when I remembered seeing Brooke on the set the day before. Holy freaks! I couldn't believe she'd stooped so low. Later, when I came out of the house, there were paparazzi everywhere, and I had to disguise myself to go for the shoot. When I reached the set, we were about to start shooting when Tom's girlfriend came on set and threw the newspapers in my face.
You homewrecker! How dare you try to steal my boyfriend, you ugly-faced lizard!
I didn't steal anyone. It's all fake news.
Babe, can you please calm down?
But she didn't calm down and tried to attack me. Just then, Brooke came from behind and dumped a slushie on that witch's head. And security pulled her away for trying to create chaos on the set.
Brooke, what are you doing here after ruining my reputation?
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, stop it. I saw you at the set yesterday. And I know you're the one who sent my pictures with Tom to the media.
Have you completely lost it? I wasn't the one who did it. It was Mom.
What? The freaking Funyuns.
Mom was the one who sent your pictures to the media. I heard her talking on the phone this morning. That's what I just came here to tell you.
But I saw you on the set last night.
'Cause it was our birthday, dummy. You came to see my play even when you had a huge movie party. And it meant a lot to me. So I thought I'd repay the favor by visiting you. But as soon as I reached here, I received an important call and I had to go back.
But that wasn't all. Brooke told me she had doubts that Mum had been up to no good. And when we investigated it, we found out that Mum had been stealing from me and filling her bank accounts. Holy freak. She was a blood-sucking mosquito. The next day, Mum came screaming with joy at us.
I've got the best news, Ash. I signed you up for 3 more movies, and we're gonna be super rich now.
So that's why you sent my pictures to the media.
What? Who told you that? And even if I did, look at the bright stars. Beside all that publicity and dating rumors with the superstar, have got you 3 more movies.
But you sold your own daughter for money.
Shut up, Brooke!
Enough, Mom. We are not kids anymore whom you can manipulate so easily.
Yeah, you broke our trust and stole from your own child. You're the worst lying butt manipulator that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, don't say that, Ash. I did everything for you guys.
You're a liar, Mom. You did everything for yourself. And that's why I've canceled all your contracts and removed you from my manager's position.
No, you can't do that!
Guess what? We already did.
Suddenly, Mum completely lost it and tried to attack me. But thankfully, Brooke had called security and the cops and they took her away.
I'm so sorry, Ash. I always thought you were a bad person and always blamed you for everything. But Mom was the real devil and played with us as she wished.
It's all right, Brooke. You have nothing to apologize for. But yeah, I don't think I can continue to shoot this stupid movie. How about you take my place in it?
Really? You mean it?
Of course.
Hi, I'm Maria, and it's time for me to tell you my story. Oh, before get start, please like and subscribe. Lori and I lived in an orphanage in Paris, where the love spreading every corner, from heart-shaped pastries, flower shops, balloons, and even street vendors under the Eiffel Tower. Imagine how sweet it would be to get proposed to in such a romantic place. Yep, love was everywhere except where we lived. My first memory is of the nuns endlessly scolding us.
Hey, stray kittens! Clean the room if you want to have lunch!
What did we do wrong? Why do they hate us so much? Why? We don't have parents?
Don't cry. Everything's gonna be okay.
Lori is 2 years older than me. She's sharp, gorgeous, and super kind. She's right. When we were 10 years old, a wealthy family adopted us. We had an absolutely super awesome life, with family parties, traveling together, and experiencing things we never even dared to dream of before. Dreams are just dreams. One day, my adopted dad's company went under. This caused a huge conflict between my parents, and they continuously blamed each other.
You're such a moron! Why don't you ever listen to me?
Don't you dare trust a woman who knows nothing except a few recipes?
Hey Maria, I bought you a new doll. Let's play with it.
Lori, what's happening? Why is Dad mad at Mom?
Never mind, it's an adult thing.
She immediately took my hand and led me to my room. I knew it wasn't just adult things. Everything was going wrong. I felt like my whole world was about to crash. But one thing I was sure of, Lori would always be by my side, through the highs and lows. What goes around comes around. My parents divorced, and after that, Dad abandoned us to go to Germany. My poor mom realized her mistake and locked herself in her room day after day, and Lori became my reluctant parent.
Time for bed. I said no using your phone before going to sleep.
You're not my mom!
Why did you skip school today? Your teacher called me.
It's none of your business. Are you trying to control me?
Honestly, I've driven Lori crazy. I'm a naughty kid, and she's an inexperienced parent. Aside from that, I'm her dream destroyer. Lori has to study while working a part-time job to raise me. Due to exhaustion, she dozed off during her college entrance exam. At that moment, I felt guilty. My selfishness had ruined her future, so I won't make her sad anymore. I'll study hard, do house chores, and sometimes go on YouTube to learn how to make her favorite dishes.
Oh, it's so yummy. Thank you, sweetie.
A few years later, while working part-time at a nearby bakery, I noticed a handsome, gentle guy staring at me. Feeling uncomfortable, I decided to stare back at him to make him feel shy. OMG, it seems like he's not a noob.
Hey, loser, take your eyes down. Didn't anyone teach you that your behavior is impolite?
He suddenly made some noise.
1 chocolate pastry, please.
Oh, sorry, we've run out of chocolate ones.
What about that one's?
I'm confused and cosplay a statue for a second.
1 chocolate for? Name!
Daniel.
It costs €5.
He gave me 200 and told me to keep the change with a wink.
Nice try, idiot! But if you think you can get my phone number with that, you're wrong! Take the money and get out!
Oh, cooling down! I'm just a generous guy, no man. By the way, your eyes are as beautiful as Aphrodite's.
And then he fled. I wish I could stuff this money into his dirty mouth. Wait, I don't need to do that. I can use the money to buy something for my sister. You know, he didn't make it easy for me. This rich jerk kept coming back every day, and I always noticed he had a bodyguard waiting outside. One day, he came in when the shop was completely empty.
I won't go anywhere until you give me your number.
Okay, okay. Next time I hope you bring some clothes and a toothbrush. Oh, and by the way, the toilet just broke down.
Maria, you know, I'm not a selfish jerk. I'm an awesome guy.
Wrong. If you're so amazing, then why are you acting like a stalker just to get my phone number?
That's because I like tough challenges. Besides, I can't get you out of my mind.
Why don't you use some money to get a brand new head?
I tried, but my hair is just too nice.
I'd rather jump off a cliff than let you carry out any of your intentions, weirdo.
Wow, let's see.
In the weeks that followed, he showed up at the shop with luxury items like the Montmartre crew, cars filling the store, and customers unable to get in. Eventually, my boss got angry and told me to handle the situation, or I'd be fired. Of course, I couldn't lose my job. I had to help Lori with the household expenses. So, I gave in and gave him my phone number, planning to block him afterward. I told my friends what happened, and they all burst out laughing and started showing me pictures of him on the internet. It turned out he wasn't just a rich kid, but also a famous actor. Surprisingly, he wasn't that bad after all. He was insanely romantic. One day, I mentioned I was craving pizza, so he insisted on going to Hawaii for lunch. I thought he managed to get last-minute plane tickets to the US, but it turned out we went by private jet.
You know, Maria, when I first met you and realized you had no idea who I was, I felt truly excited. I intended to show you who I am after you kept letting me down. However, I prefer someone who doesn't know about my reputation.
If you had said something sooner, everything would be better. I thought you were psycho.
I did say let's see, didn't I?
I hesitate to bring Daniel home because of our rundown house and my sick mother. Only when I am sure he truly loves me and accepts me no matter what will he be allowed to visit. I invite Daniel to dinner, and when Lori finds out, she freaks out on me.
Look at you! Maria, you've been spending too much time with him? Men are just trouble and liars. You should focus on your studies to get into a good college instead of dating a flashy guy.
Sis, I'm not a kid anymore. Don't worry, I can handle both. Daniel promised that he will go public with our relationship, and he'll take me to all his events. He will also travel with me wherever we want.
My sister's almost going crazy.
I worked so hard to earn money and gave up my dreams just for you to live in a silly fairy tale with a man? Poor me, my Cinderella.
I'm grateful for everything you've done. You've treated me like a real sister, but I can't keep that in my mind forever. I've made my choice too. Now can you stop worrying about me and go back to school?
Ha ha, Maria, you've lost your mind. You've just met this guy. You're not his first love, and I'm sure you won't be his last. Before long, he'll leave you just like Dad left us. What will you do then, kitten?
It seems like you're jealous of me for having a romantic love. Just leave me alone.
But she didn't give up easily. One day, I came back from a trip to Italy and found Lori waiting for me in the dark.
Sit down.
What the heck? You weirdo, you scared me.
I think you should check this out.
What's this?
Your prince isn't as amazing as you think. I hired a private detective to follow him, and I found something crazy. See for yourself.
Lori threw the phone at me. I couldn't believe she'd go this far. Where did she get the money to do this? On the phone, I saw photos of Daniel at bars with some chicks and screenshots of him replying to other girls' stories on Instagram. That didn't really bother me. But then, I saw a photo of him having dinner with his ex, and they were holding hands. I felt disgusted and almost threw up. I couldn't believe it. Lori was right. Daniel had been on a business trip for 2 weeks. I blocked his number and blocked him on all social media. I also promised Lori I would never see that cheater again, but I missed him. Unable to unblock him, I decided to watch his latest movie. Standing on the sofa, immersed in the film with my favorite large pizza, my tears added a touch of salt. I was crying like a kid. Suddenly, I was startled by something outside the window. Daniel had somehow climbed up to the second-floor window. I quickly opened it before he fell and got hurt. After all, his most valuable asset was his money-making face.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Oh well, I couldn't reach you any other way, and your sister wouldn't let me in through the front door. So, I had to climb up from the first floor. Can you please tell me what's wrong with you?
Do you think I'm stupid? Did you really think I wouldn't find out about your cheating?
What? What are you talking about?
I told you, I know everything you've done, the flirting messages with other girls, and the romantic dinner with your ex.
I threw him the phone with the evidence of his cheating. Surprisingly, Daniel burst out laughing and patted my head.
Oh my darling, you're so naive. They're my cousins. And those messages, they're from a very famous fake account. Every fan knows that account is a fake.
All right, what about the private dinner?
Oh, actually, I was set up. I got a call from someone claiming to be a famous director who wanted to meet with me for his upcoming blockbuster film. So I went. and it turned out that my ex received a similar call. Because her dad had just passed away, I was holding her hand to soothe her. I didn't realize that it would turn into such a stupid picture that would make you upset.
Huh? You think I would believe your words?
Of course, I still have evidence.
He walked closer to me and showed me a video recording of the entire conversation. Everything he said was true.
By the way, where did you get those stupid pictures? Did you hire someone to follow me?
Daniel leaned in close to my face.
You're delusional! They were thrown straight at me. Don't think I'm blinded by jealousy.
Darling, you're right, but you're crying because of me!
Because of your film exactly.
I hit him with a pillow, and he laughed with delight. Then he hugged me. The next day, while Lori was cooking, I approached her and told her everything. But she seemed really weird.
And you believe him? You're so naive. Maria?
At least he's more reliable than you or that stupid detective. He's an honest man who loves and cares for me. Why do you always judge him? Why are you trying to break us up?
You're my sister. I only care about you.
Lori sighed and walked over to me.
You're right. I think I can give him a chance. I was just trying to protect you. I'm afraid you'll be hurt like you were in the orphanage and when Dad abandoned us.
I thought everything was going well, and God was on my side. But soon after, everything exploded right in front of my face. One morning, while I was watching the news, I saw a photo of Daniel being arrested alongside a notorious mafia boss.
Top celeb accused of smuggling drugs? Could this be the end of his career and life?
I'm trembling, but then I suddenly realize Lori is standing behind the chair with a smug smile.
Lori!
My scream shakes the house as I lunge at Lori. Even Mom is startled and runs outside when she sees us brawling on the floor.
You're a jerk! How dare you humiliate Daniel and throw him into jail!
Oh, calm down, stray cat. I did this just for you.
Just for me? Liar! Destroying my relationships in someone's life? How could you do this? Did Daniel do something wrong to you? You're a devil in disguise!
Lori's face turned red, and she started yelling.
Your problem is that you think you deserve to go off and live your fairy tale life with your rich, perfect boyfriend, while I've sacrificed everything for you. What? Am I just supposed to stay here and take care of our sick mom? After giving up all my dreams and everything for you? This is how you repay me? Ungrateful thing!
Finally! You admitted it! You're just a spiteful, jealous, and selfish person!
She lunged at me again. Our horrifying fight continued until both of us were bruised. And eventually, my mom intervened. I ran away and locked myself in my room. How could I ever tell Daniel that it was my own sister who had sent him to prison and ruined his family's reputation? I tried to call Daniel, but all connections seemed to be blocked. I was desperate and locked myself in my room. The next few days, while I was in my room, I heard police sirens outside. Mom and I quickly came out of the room, only to see the police taking Lori away.
You will be detained for creating false evidence to frame someone else. You have the right to remain silent.
Lori, I didn't do this.
I know, Maria, I did it.
Lori confessed. But why? I rushed to the prison to meet her.
Why did you do this?
I couldn't bear to see you suffer. Ever since I was young, I was abandoned. And even when I had parents, my father left too. I feared that one day you would leave with your guy, and I would be left alone and in pain. I was truly envious and selfish. Daniel made you happy, and you deserve that.
Didn't say a word. I knew Lori truly regretted what she had done and was now facing the consequences. I thought I would never see Daniel again and that he would stay away from me forever. But one day, we ran into each other by chance on the street. We started dating, and he proposed to me under the Eiffel Tower. We had a dream wedding, and I felt like I had a truly happy family.